Garrett Blevins here with days 2 and 3 of week 4 on the King-RTS split. I have in here my bench day for speed work and also max upper deadlift day. You'll notice here that I have switched back over to my Olympic shoes for these pause squats. Just kind of changing it up, making sure I don't forget the movement patterns for the Olympic shoes. It's really not that much different of a groove. And what I noticed is it was a lot easier for me to achieve depth when I was using Olympic shoes. That's what they're for. A lot of this has to do with my ankle mobility. But these felt really comfortable. And so I may mess around with some heavier weights with the Olympic shoes instead of the flat-soled shoes. I was doing 5 sets or 6 sets at 3 was my plan for this day, but I had been sick and really kind of wanted to move through these sets, and so ended up I did 4 sets of 3 and then 1 set of 6 to just knock it out. This was with 455. Nothing crazy here, a lot less than I've done on some of my pause squats. Here you'll see my bench work. I had 9 sets of 3 as the protocol for this day. I ended up doing 6 sets of 3 and then 1 set of 9, again with the speed work. Even with the set of 9, I still had probably 3 or 4 reps left in the tank, and that tells me that this speed work is really like an RPE 6 or a 5 or something really low. And so I'm not so sure about speed work in general. I may be coming out with some videos talking about that. And really, I think that if you use the principles of concentric acceleration training, where you're trying to accelerate the bar through the full range of motion, and as your leverages improve, you try to move the bar faster. I think if you're doing that, I don't know if you need to do specific power work very often as far as for powerlifting. If maximal strength is your goal, it's really more like a deload. And with this 3-day week split, I really don't feel like I need to deload very much. My lower back does get a little thrashed every once in a while, but I don't know. I finished up with that close grip benching with 345, 3 sets of 5. And then some conventional deadlift work, 6 sets of 2 with 455. Again, no earth-shattering numbers there, not feeling well. Here's the last day of the week. This is max effort deadlift day, which really ended up going pretty well. I was supposed to do on the cube method that I had written 565 for 3 sets of 2. More and more I'm going over the rep ranges. I'm not holding myself strictly to the percentages of the cube method. So I started there with a double of 585, and then did 1 set of 2, which didn't get recorded, of 605, and then here, I did 1 set of 2 at 635, and here this is actually 675. There's 25, and then 2 of those 10-pound plates on each side. And so did 1 set of 2 with that, which I actually failed on. I fell forward, both my calves cramped as I locked out the second rep, and I fell back forward. So I stretched those out a little bit more, and these are now my block pulls where I'm using straps, and these went pretty well. I did 2 sets of 3, and I was going to do a 3rd set of 3, but I ended up feeling pretty good, and I decided to do it as just an AMRAP set. I've been doing more and more AMRAPs in my training, especially with the RTS protocols, to really see where I'm at. And so to kind of gauge, when I feel like I'm doing these sets of 3 and I'm at an 8 or a 9, if I really am or if I'm closer to a 10. And so far, I've been able to do at least 2 or 3 more reps, and so I'm really staying close to that 8 RPE range for the assistance work I'm doing. And so I think I need on some of these days, especially if I'm doing intensity protocol, which I call 3 sets of 3, after my main work on a max effort day for the cube method, may need to be using more weight. But I ended up here going and did 5 reps with 675, which I'm pretty sure was a PR for me. And I did 705 last week for a set of 3. And so I think if I can do 5 with 675, I maybe could do 4 with 705, or maybe even more than that. Again, today and this whole week has been off because I've had this cold. I finished up with floor press. Again, this I also did for 3 sets of 3, and ended up, this was an AMRAP set with 425. I don't even remember what I did here. I think maybe 4 or 5 reps. And I'm not sure if that's a rep PR or not. I have moved my grip in a little bit, and my elbows are still feeling a little goofy, but I'm working on that. Overall, this week went very well. I had more volume this week than any other week, over 110,000 pounds of total volume over 3 days, which was pretty good. But being sick reminded me that, so much of what we do in life and what we think we're accomplishing, it can be taken from us very easily. Just something like a cold or an illness can really show and reminds me of how frail life is and how ultimately my success and my achievements, in my opinion, depend solely upon God's provision in my life and allowing me to do what I do. And so I give glory to God. I didn't get my own genetics. I didn't earn them. I do put in hard work, but the growth is coming because God is blessing it. And that's what I believe about it. This verse makes me think about that though we're weak as humans, that's a good thing because it leads us to depend upon God. Wherever you're at out there, I hope you all are doing well. Blessings.